Michael, in sports, traditionally, historically, very few women have climbed to senior executive positions. What do you see happening in your industry with females, and is there change coming? I bring this up because when I went to law school here, I remember it was the first wave of change where we started to see more women enrolled than men. So more women lawyers were graduating than men, which means, I guess if you look at it as a microcosm of everything else, more leaders were women than men. But that didn't translate necessarily into the sports world. Do you see any shift at all now? And if so, what role are females playing in that?
Sure, there's absolutely a shift. And the reason why is sports teams and properties and leagues have always been slow adapters. They have always been that old boy network where, quite frankly, from a business sense, it was always about wins and losses and what was happening on the field, on the ice, the court, the diamond, what have you. And what they've come to realize is that they can't always rely on those wins and losses. At the end of the day, they need to have good business decisions. They need to have sound principles in place in order to really go after and attract the type of sponsors, the type of revenue, and the type of ultimately partners that they need to work with to advance their business. While they may be sports teams and properties, at the end of the day, they are about making money, and they are about advancing themselves. And what they've come to find, there's absolutely a void in having a different perspective and a diverse perspective on how to go about doing, initiatives within their business. I would tell you right now that I see a lot more women executives moving up the ranks within all different sports teams and properties. And I think the reason that you didn't see that in the beginning was because once a lot of individuals were within those high-powered positions, they simply don't leave. But as you've seen those people sort of circulate and revolve out, I think you see more and more opportunities for women to come and actually fill those positions. And as they come in, it's about all the strength of numbers and ultimately having the right sort of flex within the team itself. It's not just one point of view, it's multiple points of view. And I think one of the things that had been missing for quite some time is a female perspective on addressing business. When you stop and you think about the purchasing power that women have across this country and across the globe, you'd be foolish not to recognize to have someone in your staff, someone within the team or someone leading the team to really have a voice and an understanding with that perspective, because men or women are completely different. And I think to recognize that going into business is very, very important.
Thanks, Mike. And I'd like to, those are some very important points. And you mentioned, some of the tools that you need in order to be successful. I've always said that integrity is one of them.